APPF1, where okay, so I'll get the stream back up and running as quickly as I can. But nonetheless, hey there everyone, welcome back to APPF1. This is the second stream, this is the proper stream. We are halfway through qualifying as it stands. If you didn't catch the first bit of the stream, it currently sits Davila, who takes P1, who is on a 107.778 clear, and the biggest gap we've seen in the top 5 for quite a while actually. And you can see how close the top 5, 6, 8 are, all within 0.3 of a second, and then Sonic not even that far off himself either. We've got Joke as well, who's propelled himself up into the P3 position. Taylor going fastest with a 107.7. So extremely close and competitive times being shown from everyone today. And we've still got 8 minutes left to go. Could this get even more spicier as time progresses? We'll just have to wait and see how it does plan out for the rest of today's session. We've got Powson P10 as well. We'll go on board with is this Jokes on a lap? No. We'll go on board with Scott. How's Scott doing? He's not on a lap either. So here's Powson. He's pushing on a lap and he's coming in to the fast left-hander just before the penultimate corner. And you really have to give it everything. Get the good launch off this corner and onto the back straight, just to give yourself that extra bit of a boost, bit of momentum down this back straight, and he gets a bit of a toe off Scott. Is Palf's going to improve on his time across the line? It's not going to be an improvement, unfortunately for Palf, who has to just sit back and wait, and wait and try and set a better lap time in a moment's time. Right, there we go. Here we are then. Welcome back, anyone who is joining us again. We are back up to 5 people. So this is the second part of the stream. The first part just shows the first bit of qualifying, the intro and everything. If you are interested in watching that, go ahead and be my guest. But this is the final half of qualifying. It is a very close top 7, 8, 9, all within a few tenths of each other, and honestly, this is what it's all about. And well, it looks like everyone's filtering their way back into chat. Make sure to redo those likes that you once did. Bitmappy's back in, and much better from him. Yeah, so basically what happened, my friend decided to go onto my account while I was streaming, which is obviously never ideal whatsoever. But we are back in. We got the final 6 minutes of quali. We got a few new people trying to earn their stripes in the APPF1. And here's Meadsy, only a couple of tenths off pole, but down in 7th place, as is the close nature of these Friday night racings. Across the line, is it going to be an improvement? No, as it was just the setup lap. So he's going to have to go again into turn 1, 3rd gear, chucking it in 4th gear to get the power down, as is the no traction. So you do have to be really tentative on the throttle. What's Bluey doing? Taking a nap? Probably, yeah. He's just chilling in the pits at the moment. Down the gears into turn 4, 4th gear. Use the inside camber a little bit to try and get this car turning. It is a slight off camber, so you don't want to drift out too wide. Across the line, not across the line, well, hooking it around the hairpin like fast right-hander up the hill into the infield section, chucking it in, using the curb on the inside to really hook him around. And that's Ghost out of the session. That's through turn 1 and 2. I'm convinced that isn't Ghost just giving it up. Moose is back, Bitmappy's back, Dan's back, Ginger's back. Across the line, he is purple to the middle sector. This is looking like a pretty good lap from Meadsy, who does go purple to the middle sector. It looks like hooking that inside curb has worked very well from him then. DRS used the shortest line to the line and across the line. Is it going to be anything special? Is it provisional pole? No. Missing out by just under a tenth of a second, but moving himself up into P3 importantly, and completely cutting the center S. Fair play. But yeah, a very good lap then shown from him, and it is looking really competitive. Here's Vardy trying to set up a lap. We've already seen how quick he is. especially around Interlagos as well. He took a very good bit of pace here when we were here last time. Currently P6, but as is the nature, only a couple of tenths off pole, so he does need that extra little bit of time just to try and get himself up the grid a little bit. It's turn 4, then once again use all the track, 4th gear, hook the curb on the inside, 5th gear to get the power. Big squirm from Vardy though, and that was well held, most importantly, and kept out of the wall. But well, very good bit of racing. Well, not bit of racing, bit of drifting from Vardy. You see, these phrases are just built into my mind. I say that was a great bit of racing, typically, but I just have to kick my mind back in to remember it's quali, and I'm just completely stupid. But nonetheless, here is Vardy on a pretty slow lap, 2 seconds down. That is less than ideal. We are into the final stages of this qualifying session, so it could go any way. I honestly can see any one of these guys in the top 5, 6, 7 going pole. Any one of these top 7, I reckon, could definitely go pole. And we'll have to see. Here's Davila. Is he on a lap as he crosses sector 1? No, he's 2.5 tenths down. This isn't looking like a pretty promising lap. Here's Taylor setting up a lap and looking to extend and get a pretty decent pole time under his belt. He currently sits P1, but that's only 28 thousandths of a second clear of Davila, and that's a big slide from Davila, Taylor, who smacks himself into the wall. And that's his front wing end plate most certainly gone. That's going to be a lot of downforce lost, and that could be him out of this qualifying session, as he won't have enough time to get himself back round and on another lap. So that mistake from Taylor could be very costly. That mistake from Davila as well could be very costly in him trying to set himself up for a better lap. His Joke, let's see what he can do into sector 1. A little bit down, but there's still 2 sectors of the lap remaining. Can a Joke do anything about it? He's currently 2 tenths exactly off pole into the uphill right-handed. Really got to chuck it in, use that inside and keep it tight. Hook the inside. Well, didn't I predict it? Well, you certainly did. And it just happened in qualifying, which is better than happened in the race. He's still provisional pole. Let's see if Joke can do anything about it then. Into this right-hander again, really having to use the undulation and that camber on the inside to get the car turned in again with this left-hander. Just got to keep it tight, make it the shortest distance. He's a 1/10.5 up. That's provision. Well, that's a purple middle sector once again. He just needs to find that extra 1/2 tenth in this final sector, keep it smooth, get the good run out. It's very difficult to do, as is there's not many corners in sector 3. But across the line, is it going to be provisional pole for Joker? No, it's going to be second place provisionally. But most important, well, not most importantly, is only thousandths of a second off. 3 thousandths second between pole and second. That is remarkable stuff, and I'm well, I think Taylor's got lucky stripes then that Joke didn't get on that power 3 thousandths of a second earlier. That's all it is. That's less than a blink. That's a fraction of a blink of an eye between those two at the front. Almost exactly the same lap times. Let's see if Sonic can do anything and propel himself up the grid as well. Across the line is an improvement. It's a 1/2 tenth improvement. He goes to a 107.9 dead, but still not quite enough to get himself up the grid. Hedgehog's Fly was cleaning my room and just looked like a computer and someone had spun. Well, here's Vardy, nonetheless, 1/2 tenth up on his time through sector 1, up the hill once again. Looping himself around, keeping tight to that inside, down the gears. We're now up to 11 people watching. Mark Taylor, yeah, I guess so, man. That spin, that was literally the wrong time for that to happen. You didn't have enough time to get yourself around. But you are close. Vardy very sideways. We're on to the final bit of racing, bit of qualifying. So Taylor, Joke and Davila all provisional top 3, but Vardy is very quick on this lap. Purple to the middle sector and looking strong. He's looking fast and looking feisty to take that pole position. 2 tenths is what he needs. Across the line, is it pole for Vardy? Yes, it is. 107.454. That was an amazing lap from Vardy then to take pole position. Let's see if Meadsy can do anything. No, he can't. Completely sideways out of the final corner. Is this Sonic? No, unfortunately not. Bluey into the pits, aces across the line on an invalidated lap. So his Palf's going to get himself up the grid. He is currently 1 tenth up on his time, and a 1:08.5 is a very good time. But was just that close in today around Brazil. It's a short lap time, so you should expect close times, but 3/10 up on his time. As it stands, that will up in to P10. Let's see if we can gain anything across the line. P13 as it stands for Palf's. DRS wide open and through this corner. Can he get it done up the position? Yes, he can. Up into P8 for Palf's. So into the top 10 and a very, very strong last lap for Palf's. Who is looking to get himself on the podium once again after claiming 2 on Sunday. Well, technically 1, but we'll just say 2 because it really was 2. Well, let's not lie to ourselves. He got the podium in Austria, but definitely bounced back and got it in the best way possible for China. So, after a very, very intense and close qualifying session, we thought Vardy on pole, Taylor in second. Joke, one of the new guys, rounding off the top 3, beating seasoned veteran Davila in P4. Meaty as well, putting a strong show in there in P5. Very close between 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, and even down to 6th, who is Sonic at the moment, rounding off the 3rd row of the grid. Scott in P7, Palf's P8, Myriad Aaron in P10, the last of the top 10 runners. Bluey, Aces, Sumo, Ghost and QB will all have fresh tyres to start the race on, so they'll have the free choice of tyres and could definitely be strong for the midfield, especially Bluey, who if he keeps his nose clean can definitely be very, very quick. We'll just have to see how this race plans out. We've got 36 laps, of course, of the Interlagos circuit. If you are enjoying, do make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We have just surpassed 360 subscribers, so I have to again thank everyone for the support. But let's see if Davila's remembered to put the formation lap on. We're waiting for people to load in on the grid, sort their strategies out. I have to see if we do that formation lap and a bit of breathing space. Session starts in 20 seconds, just while everyone readies up and gets their setup sorted, gets their race strategy sorted. I'm predicting a softer, hard strategy. We'll have to see what F1 Insights gives us, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Clean first corner here will be a miracle. It's a very short run to turn 1, and everyone's looking feisty for a good start. We'll have to see as we are underway for a formation lap that Vardy leads. So the pole man looking good. Have a little look at what tyres everyone's on. So everyone opting for softs except for Aces versus Kings, who've gone for an interesting alternate strategy, which could certainly be interesting. Taking those mediums long into the race and then going for a hard or maybe even soft ending. We'll have to wait and see how that plans out. There's a lot of slow corners here, so maybe the tyres do last. Who knows? I haven't really done much league racing around many tracks on this game, so I wouldn't really know. But you can see weaving around like snakes, just getting the temperature into their tyres, using the friction to warm the tyres up and get them up to a nice crispy around about 80 to 90 degrees Celsius temperature, just to give them that extra little bit of grip that they need. And cold tyres and very hot tyres can definitely make the difference. And if your tyres are just outside that window, you are rather buggered, let's put it that way. But we have got QB and Ghost very quick on no traction control for the first time, so we'll have to see how he does get on. Let's see if he does keep the pace. But Vardy round in the final corner nonetheless to get himself onto the grid. We'll go ready for lights out. Again, I have already said it, but a big shout out to Ethan's son William, who I've heard watches the streams, and if he's watching right now, then hello. But yeah, I've heard you watch the streams, and I've heard you enjoy them, so I'm glad you enjoy them, cheering on your dad. Yeah, I'm just glad you enjoy them, and hopefully you become a commentator yourself one day. We'll have to wait and see. But Miriel is disqualified from the session at the last second. Vardy lining up then on the right hand side of the grid, which is going to be the outside for turn 1, but Tollway isn't too bad around here. Okay then. So Tier giving us a lovely little insight there. As we get ready to go to 5 red lights, 1 light, 3 light, 4 lights, 5 lights here at Interlagos, and we're underway and racing here in Brazil, and it's a very good start from the pole sitter Vardy, who gets away well, but under pressure is P2, who is looking, well, very under pressure, but I can't see who it is at the moment. It's Taylor getting himself past Joker, very nicely done, and, well, Joker really struggling off the start of the race. He is under pressure, and really is under pressure from Meadsy, who really does want to get himself through. Davila looking to the inside to try and defend his position as we just wait for the leaderboard to sort itself out. There we go, it has. Further back, we have got a bit of racing going on, and there is Palps trying to hang on to that P8 position, but he's just been done by Aaron, who is on a charge. He's definitely made a very good start. Scott falling a little bit back. Ghost looking eager to sneak his way up the inside. There's not really much anyone can do. To the inside goes Ghost, trying to get his way past Scott, who hasn't had the best start to the race, unfortunately. But a great start then from, well, everyone. Ghost, Aaron and Miriles all up 2 positions, and Meadsy having a good start past the seasoned veteran of Davila, but big slide then from Meadsy, who just needs to recompose himself and try and get into that consistent rhythm. He needs to stay in that DRS though, crucially, and definitely most importantly. Here's Paus trying to get past Aaron and propel himself back up the field, and Vardy does lead the first lap of the race, and again we're having another timing glitch, which isn't good. Predicted pit stop strategy is soft to hard. Sorry, here we go then. Here's Meadsy under pressure from Davila, who's having another big lock-up from Meadsy, and here's Davila getting himself with the cutback. He's switched to the inside, outside, which is going to be the inside for the fast right-hander, using the overtake, which he has already drained. Around the outside goes Meadsy. Can he get it stuck? No, he's going to have to back out of that one, and just think. To the inside he goes, though. Big send. Bit of tapping with Davila, who's been sent wide and having to hang on to that, but Meadsy very desperate to get himself back into P4, but his best bet is probably to just work with Davila and give him that extra speed and work with them, not hold each other up so they can stay in the DRS of the guys in front when it does finally get enabled at the start of the lap. But Taylor is keeping Vardy honest, most certainly is keeping Vardy honest. That's Ghost round further back with, of course, his no traction control and learning to do so. Which is unfortunate, but it is the biggest learning curve, and hopefully he can keep himself going. Vardy setting the fastest lap. Taylor just about keeping him honest, and Joke with a lot of rapid pace as it stands in this race through the center S and into turn 3. Big slide as he's got Davila and Meadsy still going at it. Meadsy really determined to get his way back through. He's got DRS, he has overtake. Davila to the inside to defend. Is Meadsy going to go even deeper? Yes, he is. Davila back to the outside. Great bit of racing as Davila once again tries to set up that cutback maneuver. It's not going to come to fruition on this occasion again, but he's going to have the run to the outside. Is he going to set up a nice cutback maneuver? No, yes, no, he's going to have to sit behind to the inside. Big lock-up as he sends up the inside. Meadsy does give him the room, but managing to hold on to P4. It's a great little battle between the and the season cars 3 between Lightning and Jackson Storm. But Meadsy coming out on top as it stands for the moment. Still very long to go in this race. Who have we got racing? We've got Joker on the back of Taylor using his ERS. Everyone pretty low on ERS except for Vardy, who's pretty comfortable up in front, just out of the DRS range. As Joke does go purple to the final sector, just out of that DRS range of Taylor, who does go very deep. And this is Joke's chance to the inside of a compromised Taylor. Taylor stuck to the outside and soars past down on the inside. Does Meadsy. We've got a bit of racing going on further back. Side by side is Aaron with Paus to the inside with Miriles. Bit of a tap on the inside. Aaron's been sent spinning as Miriles sent it around the outside, and Aaron couldn't quite get it stopped. He's going to lose out 2 positions here. Is Scott going to get him as well to make it 3? Yes, it is. A bit of a tap as he is desperate to keep it around the outside, but Aaron losing a few positions there. Turn 4 can work, but Miriel has decided to stick it around the outside. and Scott went into the side of him, complete and utter racing incident. Those things happen, and with F1, well, it wouldn't happen in real life. If you're the guy on the inside, you very rarely often spin. It's often the guy on the inside who spins, but that's Miriles, very, very wide, coming out of that corner there. And I will actually get the corner names up, so I know which one's which. But here is a nice little 3-car DRS train of Meadsy, who's gone defensive to the inside. It's probably a bit unnecessary, so Davila is going to really close up on the compromised Meadsy and try and get his way back through. We've also got a pretty charging Sonic, as Miriles must have gone very wide. There's Palfs up into P7. Here goes Meadsy then to the inside. Here's Davila looking to get his way around the outside, can't quite get it stuck, having to turn back out of the corner, and there's Meadsy round, so Sonic having to back out of his move on Davila, but that is Meadsy out of the race and very much round in the wall, and that is very much a virtual safety car in this race. So Meadsy, the first retirement and his first retirement of his APPF1 career. Very, very unfortunate stuff. But just pushing that hard, had the compromised run, had to defend from Davila, got too eager to put the power down and just got compromised. It also cost Sonic the chance of a cutback on Davila. But he will have it, and we do go back under racing. They have to adhere to that 40% race speed delta, as we all know, as I always allude to in these APP races. And Davila getting eager to go already. He's punched it. Is we under VSC ending terms? We'll see when we go back under green flag racing. Yes, we are. We're back under green flag racing. Sonic with the DRS looking eager to get his way up the field. Aces with a stonking restart looking to get Palfs. You got off to a pretty shaky one. Aces to the inside then as their mediums are really starting to come into their own. Around the outside goes Palfs. Can he send up the back up the inside? Yes, he can. Nice bit of side-by-side racing here. And Miriles going to get himself back up the inside of Palfs. So making the most of the compromised line that Palfs had to take. And that bit of racing is going to cost him. And Miriles looking feisty, looking opportunistic to the inside of Aces potentially. No, not quite. Gonna have to back out of that one, and Palfs looking sideways. So looks like the most exciting races are for the lower positions in the race. But Integrity Game, as long as you don't lock up, the tyres will last. That is very much true. Locking up, of course, stops the tyres rotating. So what you get is them just completely shaving off from the surface of the tyre. As that goes around again over on the grass, it looks as though it is. But what you often get is it literally just scrapes across the floor and really shaves the bottom of the tyre off. And that is what they call flat spots, and it's almost like shaving it off like a 50p piece. Obviously, a very much dramatised expression to put it, but that's what it works. It stops it rotating, so it just glides across the floor rather than rolling. Sonic going fastest though. Side on Davila for P4. He's definitely got some good pace as it stands. Miriles as well, looking to go around the outside of Aces versus Kings, trying to stick it around the outside, not really ever going to work. And here's Davila, who's picked up a 3-second time penalty, getting done by Sonic for P4. Clean move around the outside, and Davila having it to not have the best bit of racing here. He's not being able to get his way through or hold on to any positions. As well as Taylor falling a little bit back in this race as well. Joke putting on a pretty impressive show for his debut. We've also got Aaron, Palfs and Scott all looking to get onto the back of this little battle. Make it a 5-car train for P6 all the way down to P11. And Bluey as well isn't far off either. So we could see a lovely little bit of racing between these guys. Here's Aces. He's got 4-5 cars all queuing up to try and have a go at overtaking him, and he's holding on. He's just white-lining it and really keeping his nose clean, just defending where he needs to and counter-attacking when he needs to as well. Is he going to be put under pressure from Miriles? We could see put under pressure from Scott. Nonetheless, here's Davila up the inside of Sonic. Can he get it stopped? No, but nonetheless, here is Miriles around the outside of Aces, managing to get it done. But Ace is very, very deep on the brakes, cutting it back for turn 2 and into turn 3. He will have the DRS and he will have the superior energy recovery power, and to the inside he goes then. These medium tyres really starting to come into their own, and Miriles back behind the P6 man, who does get a big lock up into turn 4. having to hang on for a moment into 6. Can he get it? No, not quite, but Palf's having to hang on from Scott, who sends up the inside, keeping his nose in to the inside. Can he get it stopped? No, Palf's moving over and covering that off very, very nicely. And switching goes a little bit deep. Scott looking to get his nose in on the inside, get the power down. No, just going to have to sit back once again. Palf's defending the inside, just taking that little bit compromised. The Iron Aces versus Kings is round. The P6 man has been sent spinning and drifting away, and well, that's made these guys' jobs a lot more easy to get their way through. Nonetheless, and Miriles with his pace can finally stretch his legs and get his way in front with his pace that he certainly has in this race. But Palf's, well, he's got a free rein to try and put the pressure on Miriles. You can see the closing speed, closing with DRS before they hit the brakes. And well, it's now Miriles' turn to defend. He's got 4 rampant cars right on the back of him, really trying to attack and put the pressure on to Miriles, who already going to the white lines on the inside, and Palf's already committing to the outside, setting up the cutback maneuver. No, he's going to send it around the outside, use the grip, but it's all going to be for nothing as he runs out of grip on the outside and use the racing line, forces Scott to go slow, and that's Aaron taking advantage of a compromised Scott. Bluey as well joining the fun, so it is now 5 car, but that's a nice little cutback from Scott to get himself back up the inside. Side by side they go with Aaron. This is only for P8. They're fighting as if it's the race lead on the last lap, but nonetheless, very good bit of racing between these guys. And, well, very nice job of them all to keep it clean. Palf's as well still looking on the back of Miriles. We have got a very interesting bit of racing as Davila as well chewing away at the gap between himself and Sonic. And both looking to get themselves at one higher position. Has Davila got the speed to the inside? Lick it, stick it, send it. No, going to have to back out. Use the grass on the outside as well. And that's going to give him a compromised run onto the back straight. Here's Aaron trying to get his way past Scott once again, who did get a lovely little cutback. Palf's and Scott both with huge lockups into turn 1. It looks like we've got a massive group split into a couple of smaller groups here, and nonetheless here is the latter of the 2 groups. And here's Aaron to the inside of Scott into turn 4. Can he get it under brakes? Scott swooping his way around the outside, going to get caught with a drift of understeer as the front tyres lose grip, and Aaron still working his way. Side by side they go up the hill once again. Deja vu. Scott to the inside, Aaron on the outside, soars around the outside with the superior grip and just completely sends it around the outside of him. Really clean racing as Integrity did put it, and rightly so. This is incredible racing between these guys. It's just a shame it's not for a higher position, but nonetheless it doesn't matter what positions it's for. It is a very nice bit of racing, and really does show what this community is about. No toxicity. Just goes to show how clean the community is, how well AP and Moosey and all the admins have done to really put themselves on top. And it does show this is no toxicity, just fun racing. I'm sure they're all out there today, and it does show because guys all great friends, all joking and laughing in the chat, and it does translate into good racing. APPF1 does a great job of showing that. And yeah, you know, when this is what you get, and it turns into such good racing as they aren't scared to hit into each other and get moaned at. They're just free to race, and they know if something goes wrong, it's only pretend race cars. It is only pretend race cars, but it gives me a job. It gives me a way to hone my experience for hopefully more experience in the future. Nonetheless, it is racing, and hopefully we can get a bit of a better one, bit more racing to get it done. Have a word with Vardy's pit crew and put Inters on in his next stops. He's running away with it again. I mean, 2 seconds is the gap, as Davila is the first one to respond and come into the pit lane, smacking the pit limiter on and coming in 50 miles an hour to try and claim that position. As Palfs as well into the pit lane, and it looks like most of them are into the pits, strapping on the hard tyres for Davila. Is Miriles going to do the same? So these guys going for the proactive stance in the race, and going, of course, for the proactive stance, going for the undercut, that fresh tyre undercut, where they get the laps in clean air, they get their fresh tyre laps in. So when the guys come out of the pits, they're already ahead and have the track position. So definitely interesting to see how that plays out for them. Everyone else out there on 11 lap old soft tyres, maybe stretching them to go to, who knows. Certainly have to wait and see. And while they're at it, put stabilizers on GG Ghost. Yeah, he's going to need more than traction control at this rate. He's going to need... Vardy's in party mode. Well, he's currently got a lot of ERS party mode, actually. He's in a quite reasonable engine map. Shame for Ace. Would have been interesting with him on the mediums. Yeah, it definitely would have been the last of the medium runners. He's still in P9 before the pit stops. But there's Palfs in pit lane. Obviously, with these voice crack there. But obviously, with these multiplayer cars, you don't actually know who your team is or who you share a pit box with. Which is the weird thing about it. You have to just tell by that green little spanner on your bottom right HUD. And for me, it's middle until you have it set. But Yellow Face reset the 2. It looks as though that's Ghost round again, forcing himself to learn though, and that's the best thing forward, is just throw yourself right into the deep end and force yourself to learn and put yourself in those pressure scenarios, and you will learn better. Here's Scott on Miriales. Has he got the DRS and ERS to get himself up the inside? Yes, he does with the closing speed. There's Palfs now coming out in front of him with a nice little overcut. Side by side, Scott is with Miriales. Bit of ding-dong battle in between them, but Scott managing to claim the position. Can Miriales get it back up the inside? No assist pits, time while one lost it, could mix it up a bit. Definitely could, just depends how brave you are to brake and not risk speeding. I've personally always used no pit assist. There's Ghost out of the session, deciding to call it a day in the lane. But yeah, you just have to be so committed and really time your braking well to maximise the pit lane. And it is where a lot of time is gained and where you could make up positions. But Taylor and Joke both into the pits as Vardy, Bluey and Sonic all stay out. See where this spits them out into the traffic. Scott looking to get his way past Palfs for the top 10. And to the inside, can he get it done? No, not quite on this occasion. But QB on the back of Taylor. He hasn't yet pitted in this race. But Taylor making a nice bit of ground up in the Joke. Fresh hards. Let's see who can get their tyres warmed up and themselves done. But Scott nonetheless up in front of Palfs as we're getting a nice bit of train back on it again. There's Miriales sending up the inside, giving himself the run up the hill and chucking it in. Can he get it into turn 6? No, he's just gonna have to wait again for turn 8. Can he get it? No, not quite. And well, it looks like they're just all gonna set. Scott does lead. Palfs really working to keep himself within that train as Ace is onto the back of QB. It's fine. It's fine. You can come give me watch time now instead. But Ghost, you didn't listen to my advice. You obviously didn't. You need to be brr, not brit. Do you know what I mean? That's how you master it. Yeah, damn. Factors in the extra 5 stops, but his Ace is getting himself up past QB on those medium tyres, which are definitely going to be over the soft tyres. Now running 14 laps, which is remarkable stuff. And Vardy's still going out there. Is he going on to those medium tyres? We'll have to just wait and see. As Bluey has gone onto the mediums, confident in his tyre management, trying to get his way past Palfs, and he needs to get his way past now. No, don't say that. Vardy's going to have a stinker of a second stint on the medium tyres. As he's into the pits for the medium tyres, he's going to have a stinker of the stint. Everyone's going to catch up. Just watch. But hopefully he doesn't run away with it. And hopefully he doesn't crash. Hopefully we have a nice battle for the race lead. Similar to the one Bluey, Miriales, Palfs, Scott and Aaron have all been having for the past 16 laps. Here's Bluey trying to get his way past Palfs. He's got the closing speed. Can he get it to the inside? Lick it, stick it, send it under brakes into turn 1, and Palfs just going to concede that. Think better of it. He's been tapped from Miriales though and been spun round. So Palfs trying to concede the position has been sent spinning by Miriales, who is very sportsmanlikely waiting to let Palfs round, who has had a little bit of a contact with our good friend yeah, he's going to be waiting up. Miriles looks like yeah, he's still waiting up as well. So good sportsmanship shown from Miriles, but yeah, big unfortunately that he didn't read that Palps was gonna back off. Like, that is tricky, especially into turn 1 here at Brazil. It is tricky to do. You just need to anticipate that cars are going to be offline, and Miriles just couldn't get it stopped or put his brakes on in time, and just gave Palps a little bit of a tap. And as is single-seater racing, we do often see that happen quite a lot. But nonetheless, is Miriles still waiting up? No, he's gone. He's punched it now. He's given himself his own penalty on track and left Palps 12 seconds back. So glad Moosey has gone to bed to not see her husband suffer this bad. Medium is a interesting choice. It is indeed. I mean, if they can do 16 laps on the softs and still have a pretty half-decent pace, and you can see, even with those extra laps on the softs, he's still come out 3.5 seconds clear of Joke. He definitely can take the mediums 21 laps. And, you know, the mediums often do probably around 5 to 7 laps more than the softs. Maybe 10 if you can stretch it. So, who knows? It definitely should be pretty plain sailing, but again, as is the case in racing, we just never know. As well as Scott on the back of Davila, who's very pinched on the curb, letting Scott through almost. Who just got completely pinched on the curb and going to let Scott through. But Davila, he looks like he's going slowly. Who's he waiting up for? Who's Davila waiting up for? Is he going to have a race with Palps but on a show for us, or what? But no, he's into the pit lane. So not confident with his medium hard tyres, or coming in for a wing change along with QB into the pit lane. But we have got Miriles getting himself up the inside cleanly this time on Sumo, who is going to look to get it around the outside, stick his nose in up the inside, drive Miriles off the track nearly side by side, and Miriles is going to be forced to concede that position, unfortunately. But he has got the run off the corner. Is it going to be all in vain? Yes, it is. He can't quite get close enough. Ghostman, you did well. The fact you've transitioned to no traction control is brave in itself. And I'm guessing you're on controller. Are you on controller? Yeah, exactly. So we're just going to have to say GG to you, Ghost. That was a horrible joke. I'm sorry. I'll stop making them. But yeah. We'll say GG to Ghost. He's on a wheel. Well, it is slightly easier on wheel, I have to say. Personally, for me, it's easier to be smoother and be more precise with the throttle. But the fact that it's tricky just to learn. And here's Miriles again trying to get his way back up the inside. Side by side they go. Nice camera angle in excess of 200 miles an hour. Again side by side, but it looks like Miriles is going to take the track away from Sumo again. He's going to take the track away from him and actually claim the position this time. And Sumo has actually been sent round through off the exit of turn 2 into 3, and he's in the wall. Had a good little chat with our friend at Barrier, and that's the front wing end plate of the car gone, unfortunately. But yeah, so Ghost, it is a very big step to make, nonetheless, and it is definitely difficult to do, and you just have to get the hours in, get the practice in, as Davila has actually retired from the session in the pit lane. So that's him out of the race, as he did have to pit a couple of times. Did we see a couple of bottles from the seasoned vet? Well, I guess we'll never know. But a very spaced out grid with 17 laps to go. We are only just about halfway into the race. But it doesn't look like there's going to be much going on for the rest of it. What helped me personally was the fact I actually tried to stop playing Formula 1 just 2019 come out, and I stopped playing F1 and I started playing Gran Turismo a lot more. And honestly, that game conditioned me to trail brake and use the throttle pedal more wisely. so that when I came back to F1, I'd already made most of my way to no traction control. And then obviously with 2020, it was just fine-tuning the short shifting and getting myself quicker. But Gran Turismo, yeah, I really had to be careful with the throttle pedal, because I could never do it before. So that definitely did help me as Sumo is into the pits after his crash. But I'll talk you through it. So you can see Taylor here on his lap coming into turn 4, braking just before the 50 board, and you can see down to 4th gear. That's already a high enough gear to get the power in. So he's just being smooth on the throttle and transitioning it nicely up the hill again. It's a fast corner, so there won't be too much short shifting. 5th gear already high enough, so he can just transition the power. But this one, you'll see into 2nd gear, you'll see he'll short shift to 3rd on this exit, down to 2nd again, but then short shift to 3rd. Yep. To get the power down a little bit easier. Maybe we'll see Vardy do it out of the penultimate corner into 3rd gear, just using the power. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th are probably the gears where you won't need to short shift as much. But from 2nd, 4th, and 5th, no, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at least, you'll definitely have to short shift a couple of times. All it does is lower the RPM, so the rear wheels are spinning a lot less, and it gives you a bit of a better traction. 3rd gear. Should short shift to 4th to get the power down, and there you go. Throttle off the exit of that corner once again. And he's got no DRS, he's got no one for company. Vardy's just having a very chilled race out in front. Down into 4th gear. Is he going to short shift for us now? Nope. I tried running 50% diff. That definitely helps. 50% diff definitely helps. The trail braking, yeah, just brake in a straight line, down the gears as fast as you can. Once you get to 4th, start lifting off. Because I've actually found if you keep the brakes on, you stop. Even if you don't lock up, if you keep the brakes on, you'll actually stop slower. So if you just lift off and let the car roll into the corner, you actually stop a lot quicker. And it is counterintuitive, but if you find yourself going straight, lift off the brakes, which it is very counterintuitive and very against instinct, but it works. But so yeah, it is just practice, getting used to the short shifting and the smooth transition. And the main thing is learning how to save the slide, because slides will happen. You just have to know how to save them. And I've actually become a pretty good drifter. And myself, as Bitmappy will tell you, I'm a seasoned drifter. As Aces is finally into the pit lane, strapping on some soft tyres. He's coming for his first stop. Where is he going to come out onto the grid? As Aaron as well has made a pit stop down into P10. He's on the back of QB. Finally got a bit of action on the track. This is for P9, as Aaron will be taking those softs to the end, I'm assuming. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. But here he is then, a good run off the exit into the inside. It looks like QB is just going to give him that position. QB again, one of the other new guys who we haven't seen much of. He's been here a couple of weeks. I've commentated on him in the past. He's putting on a good showing, and here's Aces on the fresh soft. Should have a lot more pace over Miriles. We'll have to see where this race ends up for him. He is going to be quick for the last few laps, and he needs to make the most of these soft tyres. Where just go. He's not English. He wouldn't know what trampoline park. Do you have trampoline parks where you're from? Use those socks. Use the socks they give you. Extra 0.5 of a second at least. But here is Aces on the back of Miriles, trying to use that extra soft grip. Yeah, man, it'll come. Just keep going with it. Keep going with it. Keep practicing, and eventually it will become muscle memory to the point where you just instinctively do it. That's what it's like with me now. I couldn't go back to medium. But here is Miriles then, under pressure from Aces, who is going to get himself up the inside with the soft tyre grip, and Miriles forced to back out, gone up for a nice little cutback and set up a nice exit, but it is going to be all in vain and pointless fighting really, as Aces now has got 10 seconds to claw back to the next car. Is Miriles going to launch an attack? No. To the inside? Yes. No. Maybe. And doesn't think to go for it. Trying to stick in the DRS maybe, if he can, but Aces then most certainly is on a charge and trying to get himself up. But we will go on board with Joke, who is currently sitting P2 on his debut race. And definitely a good shout for any future contestant, future races. Hopefully you can race on a Sunday. So yeah, by short shifting, lowering the car's RPM, which just stops the rear wheel spinning as much. That's why if you pull away in 8th gear, it takes a lot longer to pull away in, say, 1st gear, because it takes a lot longer to wind up the car. So if you just come out in every corner in 8th gear, you'll be fine. You'll be slower, but you'll be fine. But Miriles is just about sticking with aces. He runs very wide, picking him 3-second time penalty. We'll go on board with the race leader of Vardy then. We haven't seen much of him in this race. He has really just been in the distance, and we've had to use a pair of binoculars to see him from the distance. He's been ahead of the rest of the field. Really is dominating this race on those medium tyres, now being on them for 9 laps. We are 11 seconds 11 laps away from the race end, and Vardy has got 3 seconds of penalty compared to Jokes and none. If he picks up a few more warnings, maybe we could see this race decided on penalties. Who knows? Have to wait and see how time plans out. So who has had the most position changes? Bluey and Aces and QB all up 5 positions each, and that was a pretty good bit of racing then from these guys who have worked themselves up that far up the grid. And Ace is really chewing away at the gap between himself and Bluey, and well, he's doing it very quickly and really extending himself from Miriles as well. We could see him launch an attack for 6th, maybe 5th, if he gets that extra couple of seconds. I think the top 4 is very much an outward shout, as Scott Eva himself is 11 seconds off. Yeah, Bluey has done well to be even this far into the race, let's be honest, and he's done a very good job. Ghost, yeah, just keep going with it, man, and yeah, after Sunday, after the championship. But you will definitely find you'll be quicker with no TC. You can really get the pull out of the corners very, very well. Once you get used to it, even the wet isn't that difficult. But yeah, this is a bit of a dull race put on show. It was a very feisty first couple of laps, but now the field has sort of spread out a little bit. We've got yeah, it is very small. So everyone's running identical lap times, but well, apart from Aces is flying. He's really chipping away at that gap. But Pav's into the pits as well for some fresh tyres. Presumably softs to the end of the race. Bitmappy, that's because you didn't send it hard enough. You ran out of balls. You sent it into turn 1 and then just ran out. Yeah, someone needs to bring out a safety car, bunch it all up. Can, like, I don't know. We don't have that guy to do it for us anymore. He used to crash on purpose and bring us a safety car. But we don't have him anymore. Very unfortunately. As Aaron is into the pits as well, he's going to be strapping on some new soft tyres. And very much ahead of Pal. So these guys having a battle. He's got the gap down to around about 2. I would say. I'll run this race, of course. Consistency up and down the grid. Well, consistent. Yeah. Oh no, Joker's lagged out of the session. Joker's left and is out of the session. He has got 5 seconds to Taylor and is definitely going to be pushed. take and trying to make the most of it. Can Joe get himself back into the lobby? I'm not sure what the AI level is on, but is Taylor chipping away at that gap then? It is. He's to get himself back down, and this is going to be free for him as he looks to get himself up past Joker. He's robbed Candy Baby, or robbed the Twinings teabag off Moosey, or I don't know, or taken an apostrophe away from Mark. That's exactly what he's done, and he's really struggling out there. Sonic has found himself up into P3, gifted the podium position, and has Joke got himself back in yet? No, he hasn't yet. He needs to get himself back in quickly. Should we give him an invite? CR. We'll chuck him an invite really quickly. Joker's ghosted, yeah. It's a shame, but it definitely spiced up the race a little bit. Joke. CR. Let's see if we can get him an invite. There he is. Jacob. Right, can he get himself back in? Who did for the top three? It was Vardy, Taylor and Bluey, wasn't it? Let's see if Joe gets himself back in, because we really do need him back in. He's losing and losing the guys in front. Joker has indeed just done a Scott. In very Scott fashion, he completely lagged out and bottled the podium because of it, and that's a big shame on his debut. Dropped my friend there. That's a big shame on his debut, which has been a miracle to have had the start he did. It does go quickest, a 109.7, I believe that was. And he's doing exceptionally well. Here is Scott now lining up to take Joe Keb and find himself up into P5 as we are on to lap 31 of 36. So is very unfortunate, nonetheless. It does happen in racing sometimes, and Powers has been awarded a 3-second time penalty. But Jacob, yeah, just going to find himself playing down, and Aces has actually managed to close the gap down to 5 seconds, completely under our noses. Trying to race, chasing down first, but yeah. Anything the guttedness, the what could have been, and if Vardy bottled it, who knows? Vardy could still very much bottle it. It'll be Taylor the one taking the scraps instead of Jacob. But Aces versus Kings now lining up to get on the back of Joke and get himself past. So he's lost loads of positions in the last couple of laps. But the gap is very quickly coming down to the cars in front. Can we see him get there at the end of the race? 8-lap hold, soft compound tyres. He does have a penalty as well to contest with. But can he get it on track? 4.3 seconds is the gap. He's got 5 laps of the race left to do it. Can he do it? We'll have to see. Miriam as well lining up to take Jacob as well. .8 seconds now is the gap. 10th is the gap between Jacob and Miriles, who finds himself up into P7. Oh no. Connection gone. That sucks. That really does suck. And is very unfortunate. Yeah, so that was almost a certain P2. We've also got Aaron finally chasing down QB for a position on track. Aces as well, chipping away at the gap between himself and Bluey. 4 laps is the remaining time on the clock of the race. Or well, 4 laps is the countdown of the race. There's no actual clock. It's not an endurance race. But nonetheless, here he is in DRS. Can he get himself past on those 3-lap-old soft tyres? Can he do it? Can QB get himself past? It'll be a lick it, stick it, send it moment into turn 1. Just going to think better of it and not send it up the inside of QB. So exit, get the power down. He's not got a lot of ERS to be using. Neither of them have much to be using. Can he run into turn 4 to the inside? Gonna think about it. Gonna think about it most certainly. Doesn't as of like. We've also got Aces versus Kings now. Finally between himself and looks like these tyres are going to be around equally as one, I'm sure, as the soft tyres do wear quicker than the mediums, but both very old for their respectable, well, standards, I guess you could say. But Aces most certainly putting the lap times in. 10 seconds he's closed in the last 10 laps. This is what it's all come down to, and he soars down the inside to retake the racing line and back up in front of Bluey. Let's see if he can open up that 5-second gap. We'll have to see. 5 seconds is a lot of time to open up, especially in the short amount of time that he has got. So there is yellow flags to sector 3. Who is that round? Up in front, is that Palf's round, QB round, Sumo round? It's Sumo round. So he is going to be finding himself in the wall. Maybe if he crashes himself out, we could have a last lap safety car, maybe? No. I don't think we're going to have a safety car now anyway, as we are rounding onto the penultimate lap of the race, with QB on the back of Aaron, just running out of the grip. And talent to keep with him, unfortunately. But Bluey is definitely giving Aces a nice little run for his money. And through turn 3, the long left-hander really does strain the right-hand side tyres. And Joker, unlucky mate, you were having a great race. No pens. He definitely deserved the podium. He is the podium sitter in our hearts, most certainly. So it looks like Bluey is now finally losing the gap to Aces in front, as we are onto the final lap set by Vardy, who has now rounded on the lap, and we are going to stay on board with him for his final lap. A pretty dominant display from Vardy to take yet another win in his APPF1 career. You can see weaving around a bit, doing in a bit of a celebratory fashion. 12 seconds he has to Taylor. Just really got his head down from the start, hasn't made any mistakes, and has really just kept his nose clean. And is that Sumo round again further back? No, it's Bluey round. Bluey's had a bit of an off, fighting it, and there's a crash, and he's lost his wheel on the final lap, and Bluey is most well and truly out of this race, and that is going to be Aces secure into P5. Well, just don't really know what happened there. Bluey just... he made it so far into this race, and then at the last moment just decided to bin it into a wall. Only Bluey could definitely do that, or, well, him and Scott could do that. Of course, yeah, of course Bluey puts it in a wall. But most certainly, here is your race winner after a dominant display. Pole to flag. Vardy is your race winner here for the Friday night racing. And he is your race winner. Here's Taylor rounding the line a few seconds later. Across the line, he's going to finish a nice P2. And across the line, is Sonic going to take it with any penalties applied? Nope, going to sit P3. Scott again with some nice runs in and finishing P4. Bluey finally has a consistent race and then bins it on the last lap. Yeah. But Aces, driven a great race, playing the alternate strategy to his fortune, his favour, and really played it off well. Across the line, P5. Can Miriles do anything across the line? It's going to be P6, and the rest were lap cars, so they'd already finished the race the lap prior. But certainly a good bit of racing when people were closed up. Aces versus Kings taking the driver of the day, and very much deservedly so. we'll actually check in with AP Pals. We'll see how he got on. How the stream's going. So here is Vardy then taking a very dominant and very deserved top step of the podium. And he wins tonight's race from pole to flag. Very dominant and nearly taking fastest lap as well. Taylor in second with Sonic rounding off the top three. Scott in P4, Aces in P5, Miriles in P6, Joker down in P7 after lagging out. So P7 still a pretty good result, but it definitely was what could have been and what should have been for him on his debut tonight. Aaron H coming in P8, UB coming in P9, Palps in P10, still in the top 10, so a good result from him, but again, not living up to the full commitment. And Sumo and Bluey both classified as they did finish within the last couple of laps. Davila, Ghost and Meadsy all rounding off the grid though with DNFs, unfortunately, but still some nice bit of racing from everyone. When there was a bit of downtime as well towards the end of the race, but that does happen in every race, but it gave us a nice little opportunity to talk it out. And Ghost, you are more than welcome, my friend. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, not much for me to do after the first sort of stint or so, but still an enjoyable race, and I'm glad you guys did enjoy. And well, hopefully great comment you made yet again. Good race, nice clean wheel to wheel racing. Thank you, man, appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, night, morning, wherever you are in the world. I hope you have enjoyed me from the Sweeneysy channel. If you aren't subscribed, do make sure to do so. Do make sure to leave a like on the stream before you leave as well. Just surpassed 360 subscribers, and the growth on the channel has been immense, especially these last few weeks. The last month has actually been the